there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show.
Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? Well, it's February, which, thanks to Hallmark, is a month synonymous with love and freezing cold weather. I guess that's not thanks to Hallmark. That's just thanks to living in the Midwest. And wow, it's freezing, but that's not what we're going to talk about. Now, I know that this episode is coming out after Valentine's Day, the reason that we think of February and we think of love. But let me tell you something. Every day is a good day to find, feel, and give love. I'm sticking with the there's no too late. My New Year's resolutions episode came out mid to late January. And yes, my love episode is coming out past Valentine's Day. And I love it. Now, as a self-confidence coach, you better believe that I put as much emphasis, if not more, on self-love than I do any other form of love. Because the relationship you have with yourself will inform every other relationship you have in your life. At the end of the day, you are your first and forever friend, your true ride or die. You are the longest relationship you will have in this one and only life you're living. And I want that relationship to be one that is rooted in love. And I know you want that too. Listen, this month, I'm so excited about this. I'm running a self-love group at a local high school. And the theme of the group, it wasn't chosen by me. It was chosen by the students. Now, I always thought that self-confidence was a bit more digestible and less like eye-roll worthy for teens than self-love. But oh my goodness, I am so excited that I was proven wrong when they said, no, we don't want a group about self-confidence. We want a group about self-love. And so that's what we're doing. And when I launched my first group coaching experience for moms, it was called the Season of Self-Love. And the sign-up spoke to the desire for this kind of work, for understanding self-love. Now, quick side note, I am going to be launching another Season of Self-Love, a group for women. So reach out or get on my mailing list if that is something that you want to be a part of. It's an eye-opening and life-changing experience. So reach out to me if that speaks to you. I digress. Here's the thing about self-love. It is a non-negotiable in terms of cultivating self-confidence. Self-love is one of the pillars of confidence. Now, you might remember that my definition of self-confidence is a feeling that comes from knowing, loving, trusting, and believing in you, and the product of taking courageous action even when every other emotion is present. See, you can't feel confident without the love. But like self-confidence, no one ever taught us how to do it, which is why for so many of us, it feels so hard. And when we feel like it's hard, we might believe that maybe we're not worthy of it or we're doing it wrong. I don't know. But if you don't understand some of the key concepts of self-love, it might just feel like bubble baths and massages, which is totally wonderful. But that's certainly not what we're talking about today. Today, I'm going to give you a few lessons in self-love. A real Why Didn't They Tell Us episode. Now, I know self-love is having a moment right now, which is awesome. It's like the Brussels sprout of the personal development space. I don't know who is doing self-love and Brussels sprouts PR, but they're both everywhere. And woohoo for that. It wasn't always like this. We need tools and concepts to come back to again and again so we can learn how to love ourselves. And that is what this episode will be. Sound good? You know it does. Let's do this. Okay, first and foremost, you are lovable. You are worthy of love. And yes, I am talking to you because we all are. There is nothing you need to do, be, or have to make yourself more lovable than you already are. You're here. You're here on this planet. You've checked the box for everything you need to do to be worthy of love from others, but especially yourself. You are lovable just as you are, with all your perfectly imperfect quirks and characteristics, with all your past failures, with all your perceived faults. Those make you you, and you are lovable. Nothing you've done, nothing you could ever do will make you any less lovable and worthy than you already are. Accept that. Embrace it. Borrow the belief that you are worthy of love and that love, it begins within. Really, I want you to say that to yourself every day. You want to strengthen your self-love muscle? This is what you need to do. Remind yourself daily, I am worthy of love, and that love begins within. I am lovable. Or as always, find the phrase that helps you remember each and every day that you are lovable and worthy of love. You are. Say it to yourself. Accepting you just as you are, that is the foundation of self-love. Now, if you have a human brain, chances are accepting the good parts of you, that's easy. But accepting those other parts is tough. And embracing them feels totally foreign. I get that. This leads me to my second point about self-love. It's subtle. Self-love is soft. Self-love is warm and gentle. It is not loud and overpowering. It is this constant presence versus this sporadic intruder that barges into your brain. That's what self-doubt, anxiety, and fear feel like. Those emotions and the voices that cause them are nagging. And their presence, it feels like a tidal wave. Now, in my own experiences, I could always hear self-doubt and fear and anxiety so clearly. Their message, that voice, was booming in my head, telling me what I couldn't do, what I didn't deserve, or what I shouldn't even dare to attempt, following up immediately with this story about the what if and the worst case scenario, just to punctuate the point. On my own self-love journey, I noticed this distinct difference between self-love and self-doubt. And I wondered why self-love didn't have the same enthusiasm, right? Like there was no volume to that voice. The self-love voice was just really subtle. And like I said at the top of the show, I was like, I think I'm doing this wrong. Well, maybe if I just meditate more, or if I say I am worthy of love, I'm worthy of love. If I said it with just more vigor, then I would feel more loving. I just missed it. That self-love is subtle. Now that voice may not be the loudest in your mind, especially if this is new to you. Looking at yourself in the mirror every day and saying, I am lovable, I am worthy of love. If that is new to you, if even the concept of accepting and embracing who you are, if that is new to you, that voice is 100% not the loudest in your mind. But I promise you that voice is the most meaningful and the most powerful. That is the voice that deserves your attention. But first you have to choose to listen to it and believe it. And give volume to it. Listen, fear, anxiety, doubt, they are loud because they want us to think that they are very urgent, that they're important and necessary, that if you go after a goal or dare to chase a dream, be yourself or love yourself, that something bad might happen. So it tells you all the reasons why you can't and you shouldn't and you're not deserving of it. Maybe you'll find out that if you go after that goal, if you chase that dream, if you be yourself or love yourself, you'll find out you're not worthy of it. Or someone else might think you're not worthy of it. And that just creates more doubt and more fear and more anxiety. Listen, those emotions, they absolutely serve a purpose in life, right? I am not saying that fear and anxiety and doubt don't have any purpose, but more often than not, I find that the purpose they are serving is keeping you small and keeping you stuck. That is not loving. We have to stop listening to everything doubt, anxiety, insecurity, and fear are telling us. Which leads me to my next point about self-love. It's a choice you make. Thinking of you, talking to you, and treating you with love is simply a choice you make. And I'm going to go ahead and say it is a radical one. And I say that because part of the reason we don't know how to love ourselves is because we are bombarded with messages that have us believing we need to change in some way to be more lovable. I see this in the weight loss space with millions of dollars worth of messaging saying that we'd be more lovable if we weighed less, right? I see this in the beauty space with elixirs and lotions and potions promising we'd love ourselves more if we just contour or correct that blemish or imperfection. But none of this speaks to what self-love really is, and that is the inside work. Thinking of yourself in a loving way, speaking to yourself lovingly, and treating yourself like someone you love. Those messages, they do the opposite. Those messages lead you to believe that your lovability is based on something beyond just who you are. And I already told you, being you, just as you are, is the only prerequisite for self-love. Now, that does not mean you can't or shouldn't change or want to change. You absolutely can and you should, but not because it will make you more lovable or worthy of love. It will just make you different. You are already as lovable and worthy of love as you will ever be. Now, this leads me to my final point about self-love, and it might feel contradictory, but stay with me. It might be subtle, but self-love is not a weak emotion. Self-love isn't the voice that tells you to take the easy way out or avoid discomfort or to not try something because it's new or hard or you'll be bad at it. Because you will. Anything you try that you're new at, you'll probably be bad. Like if your goal is to run a marathon, start a new business, or dream about doing something big, bold, and daring. Self-love is not the voice that tells you not to do it because it's going to be difficult. It's not like, oh, I love you so much. Let's just sit on the couch. Don't do that. Don't go after that goal. Don't go after that dream. That's going to be so hard. And I don't want that for you because I love you. No, that voice is doubt. That voice is fear. That voice is anxiety. That is the voice that keeps you small and keeps you stuck. And I promise you, that is not self-love. Self-love is the voice that says, this is going to be hard, and I've got you every step of the way. Self-love is the voice that says, this is going to be hard, and I believe in you and your ability to achieve it. This is going to be hard, and I'll let you take breaks, but I won't let you give up because it matters too much to you. That voice. That is self-love. And that voice, that self-talk, that way of treating you, that is a choice you make. Okay, I kind of lied because I need to say one last thing about self-love. And this really is my last point. Self-love, it takes intention if you're like me, no one taught us this, right? Maybe that's why I had that idea of self-love being this kind of eye roll emotion of like, okay, so you want me to look myself in the mirror and tell me I'm lovable and I'm worthy of love? Like, who does that? Well, I do now. I hope you will too after this episode. But it takes intention. Some days it might be really easy to love yourself, and I hope you do on those days. Some days it might be really hard, and I hope you do on those days. I hope you make the choice. It simply takes intention. I think of self-love as a very deliberate emotion. It requires you to direct your brain to see all that is lovable about you, to see all the ways in which you are worthy of it. It's a choice you make, and sometimes it might feel difficult. I can't think of work more worth the effort, because you are worth the effort. And as your first and forever friend, your first and last Valentine, if you will, talk to and treat yourself that way. You are so deserving of it. My friends, why didn't they tell us that self-love, someday sure, it is bubble baths, massages. Someday sure, it is sitting on the couch rather than chasing the dream. Some days it might look different, but every day self-love is rooted in thinking of you with love, talking to and treating yourself with love. And my friend, you are so worthy of it. That's what we got for today. Till next time.
Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.